Dr. Darius Daniels once said, "Achieving your best work and achieving your best success does not only take your best work, it also takes your best self." Today we're going to answer the question, what influence does childhood trauma, unhealed childhood pain have in our success and have in our lives today? Now at Mind Prosperity, we believe that where the mind goes, the life follows. And the mind is strongly influenced by your emotions, the way you feel. Now, to make sense of this whole conversation and to explain how childhood wounds and childhood trauma has an influence on your success as an adult, we have to understand the workings of the conscious and the subconscious mind. Now, your conscious mind runs 5% of your life. Everything you see around you, everything that you are aware of right now, that's your conscious mind or your conscious awareness. Then you have this part called the subconscious. The subconscious runs 95% of your life. And the best way I can explain the subconscious is autopilot or habit. Just think about the language you speak. A lot of times the food you like, the sports you like, the movies you like has been shaped by your environment. That is the subconscious. A lot of times the people you grow up with, the environment you are in, has such a big influence in how your subconscious life is shaped. Now, the interesting thing is, as I said, as an adult, 5% is controlled by your conscious mind, 95% is controlled by your subconscious mind. Most of your subconscious mind has been formed in childhood, in the first 7 years of your life. Now, the subconscious mind has two parts. It has the preconscious. The preconscious are parts of your subconscious mind that's also an autopilot, that's also habitual, but you know it's there. Good example I can use, if you can play the piano very well, you do it on autopilot, it's a habit, but you know you can do it. So it's part of the preconscious. Now there's this other part called the non-conscious. The non-conscious is also part of the subconscious, and the non-conscious are the parts that you are not aware of. But most of these parts has been placed there by childhood. So if a person doesn't feel confident, if a person is still a people pleaser, if a person doesn't feel good enough, if a person doesn't feel able, a lot of times in your childhood or in your upbringing, mom or dad will say things like, "Aren't you ashamed of yourself? Money doesn't grow on our backs. Everybody in our family got this disease. Nobody in our family ever made a success of their lives." And those things get stuck in the non-conscious. Now, what happens when you want to go forward in life, when you want to go excel in life, when you want to grow your business, when you want to grow success? It's almost like as if these areas in the non-conscious are pulling you back, pulling you back, pulling you back. I always use this example. You remember those shark movies where people will swim in the water and the shark will just like pull them down, and then they come up a bit, and the shark will pull them down and they come up a bit until the shark eventually devours them. And this happens a lot because people want to go forward, and then this, I call it trapped emotions. It's emotions that were trapped since childhood will pull you back. So you want to go forward in life, and the trapped emotions say, "But no, you're not good enough. You're not confident enough. You're not pretty enough. You're still a people pleaser." Or whatever it might be, it pulls you back, pulls you back, pulls you back, and you struggle to go forward. Now, in order for us to have true success, we have to heal these childhood wounds. But a lot of people might say, "But I know people who has heavy childhood trauma and they have a lot of success." And the reason you are saying that is because you evaluate success only with material things. And success is not only material things. You can become very rich and very wealthy with your childhood trauma, but you will still have anger issues. You will still not have peace. You will still not have joy. And for us to really overcome and to really have success, we have to go in the subconscious, see what goes on in the subconscious because of childhood trauma, so that we can get to a place where we really have success in our lives. So how do we do that? Number one, self-awareness. Self-awareness is a combination of two things: metacognition, which means think about your thoughts, and meta-mood, which means think about your feelings. Now, a lot of times people don't know this is going on because they don't have self-awareness. They don't think about their thoughts. They don't think about their feelings. They don't ask themselves the question, why do I year after year make the same New Year's resolutions, but I break them all the time? Why do I start with my goals every single Monday, but I never reach them? You have to think about that, because your subconscious produces all the time. So a lot of times when we set goals, a lot of times when we make plans, we do it from the conscious mind or the conscious awareness. But the part that's driving the show, the part that's running the show, is the subconscious. So you can make all your plans, you can have all your ideas, but the subconscious runs the show. And the subconscious, like I said, has been formed in this first 7 years of your life. Dr. Bruce Lipton said, show me a child at the age of 7 and I can show you their whole future, unless they rewire and reprogram their subconscious mind. Number 2 is you have to look at your triggers. Triggers are big emotional responses to situations that are not that big, or to situations that doesn't deserve that big emotional response. If you don't look at your triggers and you don't deal and heal your triggers, you might become wealthy, but you're going to be angry, you're going to be miserable, and you're not going to be happy. And number 3 is where the real magic happens. Number 3 is reprogram your mindset. Now that you have been self-aware, now that you've identified your triggers, now you have to reprogram your mindset. Reprogram your mindset is like a garden. What seeds have been sown into the garden of my subconscious when I was a young child? What traumas has been sown in my subconscious mind when I was young? And what kind of seeds that have been sown is running my show at the moment? And how do I reprogram them? You know, the reprogramming of the mind is not just positive thinking. It's about ripping out belief systems that has been there for long and replacing them with new ones. So how do we rip them out? We evaluate, we identify, and we unbelieve. I evaluate, I know you are there. I identify, I know this is why you are there, and I don't believe you anymore. I don't believe everybody in my family should be like this anymore. I don't believe I'm the loser that everybody told me I was when I'm a child. I unbelieve it. And now is the time to sow new seeds. Now is the time to sow new thoughts. New thoughts are sown into the subconscious by repetition, imagination, and emotion. Meaning I think about it, I get emotionally involved with it as if I already have it, and I do it repeatedly. If you repetitively sow the right thoughts, sow the right programming into your subconscious mind, your subconscious gets reprogrammed, and now you can have the success you want. Bob Proctor said, if you can hold it in your head, you can hold it in your hand. The problem with many people is they still hold childhood trauma in their head. But if we can rip out and heal those childhood wounds, and we can plant new seeds in the programming of our subconscious mind, we can have the success that we want.